Hello, everybody. Jim Malone here, coming to you live on the Dallas trading floor. Well, it's Tuesday, and the market is still pulling back. The market is in correction. We did have a rally. It's sort of a dead cat bounce. Just want to be clear on that. The market is still in correction, but interestingly enough, we did have a nice correction. We're up basically on a lot of things, but we're not out of the woods yet. The oils are doing particularly well. I just wanted to kind of highlight a stock that I think that you might want to take a look at. It's CPE. Callan Petroleum is doing very, very well. It's up strongly today. As a matter of fact, all the oil stocks are up today. And I just kind of wanted to put it out there for everyone. And it's something that you might want to take a look at. Very interesting stock. And I think well worth your time. Another thing I want to point out today is Netflix doing quite well, and that is up significantly. I want to show you a spread that I did on Netflix in just a second here. If you're looking on TikTok, it's super easy. Unfortunately, it's a static background in back of me. I can't change out the backgrounds all that well, but what you can do is jump on over to www.Dallas Trading Floor, or go to my profile, click on the link, and then scroll all the way down. And I'll be able to show you exactly the slides that I'm talking about. Just kind of wanted to do an overview of the market. The Dow is up today. It's up about 1.35%. The S&P 500 is up 1.52%. The Nasdaq is up 1.69%. Russell's up 0.45%, and the IBD 50, which is growth stocks, is up 1.86%. So we definitely had a recovery from what was going on yesterday on the market. So that's something that I want to be very clear on. Just wanted to show you some options trades that I have, and again, this is related to trade on Netflix. Netflix is zooming up. It's at 634 today. If you were in this trade, you would have been up about a 168 per contract so far. And I just kind of wanted to show you. I had to extend this because it went up so much that I didn't have, the last wasn't correct on that. But we're up about 168 on this. Probably will be closing this if things continue. The maximum, of course, profit on this is 206 per contract. And that's a very nice spread trade. If you want to take a look at that Netflix spread trade and you're on TikTok, it's super easy to do. Just jump on over to my profile, click on the link, and go down, and you'll see it. It says Netflix trade. So, by the way, I'm simulcasting this all on YouTube, youtube.com/Dallas Trading Floor. So let's take a look at the next one. I did also have a bear trade on Alibaba. Alibaba has been falling, as you know. Many of the Chinese stocks have. And of course, this one's doing pretty well too. The closing price on Alibaba today, 143. And as you can see by this chart, we're in the money, about $49. So that's looking good too. That's one's falling. Now, the third spread trade that we have, not doing quite as well. This is a bear trade as well. We expected DuPont to fall. It went up instead. So this one we may have to readjust a little bit. Who knows? Closing today at 71.93. Now, what I'm showing you here, these are spread trades. This is not actually the value of the stock. There is a spread trade, and those are available, of course, just by going to www.Dallas Trading Floor and getting on the list for that. Here's some stocks that I've been buying today that you might be interested. They're mostly oil stocks. This has got a composite rating of 99, which is the top rating, and that is Matador. It's a company here in Dallas. It's 40.94. So the rest of the market not doing so well. The tech not doing so well, except for Netflix, but Matador is looking good. It's up about 48 cents or 1.19. I was buying this one today, Matador. I also was buying another oil stock called EOG Resources. It's up about 1.41% today. Composite rating of 99, so that's looking good too. Nice change in volume, up about $1.81 at 87.61. So this is EOG Resources. And I did buy another non-oil stock today, and that was Mgm Resorts International. And that one, that one is also looking good. It's at 44.85, so looking pretty good too. There's not quite as good a composite rating on that, only a 78. Typically, I like to have a composite rating of 80 or better. But MGM, I do think that if we do finally get a reopening here, I think MGM is likely to be one of these stocks that benefits from that because they don't have any exposure to Macau over in China. They're almost a pure play Vegas play, and I do think that they likely to do very well. MGM, you might want to take a look at them. Another one possibly is IGT Integration. That is, they make the slot machines, so that one you might want to look at as well. Also want to kind of show you what I have on board. Now today was a particularly good day. As you can see, it's all green here. All of my current holdings are up today, which is very heartening because I have been trimming and everything and selling off, and it's good to have a day when we're all green. American Express, I have it's up about 2.45%. Dorchester Minerals, this one has done very, very well. This is a natural gas play. Symbol on it DMLP. It's up about 2.54%. EOG Resources up 0.94, or about almost a percent. That one also I talked about earlier. I did buy that one today. Matador, I added to a position that I already had in Matador. That's up about 1.48% today. Robert Half, the temporary staffing company, that's up 1.69%. CRM, Salesforce, that's up again. And the XLE, this is the Energy Select. And then, of course, we talked about MGM. Anyway, so that kind of gives you a rundown of sort of where I'm at right now. And without further ado, let's get into some of the questions. Don't have that many people today, but let's take a look at, see what we have from TikTok. Okay, we're notifying your viewers that you're live. Okay, all right. Oh, there we go. Okay. What is the best platform to do cryptocurrency trading? Well, that's a good question. I like Coinbase for that. I have not been in crypto as much lately, but Coinbase, I do like that as well. And there are some pretty good alternatives out there. So let's bring up the charts. And for everybody out there, I use MarketSmith, and the reason I do is because it has some features that I really like. Now, unfortunately, it's you'd have to pay for MarketSmith, and I wish it was free, but it is not, and I don't get paid anything from the people at MarketSmith. But I do like their product a whole lot, and I think it's just a quality product. And I just like to be in buying with that. Okay, so let's look at Palantir. It's going to be one of the first ones we're going to. It's not likely to be doing too good. PLTR is the symbol for Palantir. We are down a little bit on Palantir. Let me see if I can zoom in a little bit on that chart and take a look there. Okay, about 160, 50% on magnification. Yeah, unfortunately, what's happened with Palantir, and I was out of Palantir. I was stopped out basically at 25.50 on Palantir. That's where I was stopped out. And it is trading below the 200-day line. So with Palantir currently 24.68 in the after hours. It is up a little bit, which is good, and it does seem like it may be bouncing. I don't know about that, but it does look like it may have a bounce. I'd be a little bit leery about entering it here, just because the market in general is is trading down. I mean, it's still in correction. Not necessarily a really good time to get in, except for the very strongest sectors. And of course, right now the strongest sector is coal, believe it or not, and then oil and gas. So I'm concentrating my buys right now in the oil and gas area. All right, so let's see. Okay. Tell us one thing about gold. Okay, gold. Well, interestingly enough, everybody out there, and there's a lot of people out there that say that gold, gold is the ultimate inflation hedge. Don't believe them. Don't believe them, and I'll tell you why. Because gold, unfortunately, the best inflation hedge is oil, and that's why I am buying oil stocks. Because gold, as you can see, this is the spider ETF, GLD, which basically seeks the performance corresponding to the price of gold bullion. Now, you would think this would be going up because you would think that there are all the inflation expectations. You would think that this was going up, but it's not. The GLD is going down, and unfortunately, it is not looking. It's not looking very good at all. So my thing about gold, everybody's talking about gold, of course, but it's not necessarily the place to be. Unfortunately, it's just not the place to be. You're better off with with an oil ETF if you want to, if you have inflation fears. And one of the ones I recommend, of course, is um, is the Spider Select Gold ETF, the oil ETF, which is XLE. And I'm going to bring that up. I'm going to bring up the chart on the XLE in just a second. Here we go. All right, I'm going to take some of these. There we go. Okay, so we're going to look at here at the performance. This is the performance on the gold shares. As you can see, it's trending downward. Unfortunately, as you can see that. But the XLE, which is the oil share, you can see that's trending up. Isn't that interesting? See, this is why, even though everybody tells you, oh, the best thing to have in inflation is gold, well, I disagree. I think the best thing to have is oil, and that is trending up. So that's kind of my take on it, of why you're better off with oil rather than gold. Okay, so most everybody is looking at legacy products here. See, this is the problem. I'm just looking through here, and it's great. But the funny thing about it is that everybody's trying to buy a growth stock, and unfortunately, the market is trending downward. So that's probably not a good idea right now. But let's look at. Let's see. So we've got drip. Now that's interesting. Let's look at drip. I don't know drip. That looks like a yeah, okay. Now this one is oil and gas bear. Now, why would you go with a bear oil ETF? This doesn't seem to make sense. We're looking possibly. I don't think you want this one. I don't think you want drip because this is a bear fund and it's a 2x bear fund. You don't want that when oil is going up. Oil is going to probably be approximately. I think it's going to be over $100 a share, over $100 by the end of the year. I mean, that's kind of what we're that's kind of one thing we're looking at. That I kind of want to point out there because it is a little confusing sometimes. But I do want to show you a slide that I just put together here for. It's actually another thing that we're doing here at Dallas Trading Floor, and it's basically. Let's see if I can bring this I can bring this slide up here because I think it's really indicative of kind of what's happening with the oil market. I want to show you this because this is going to give us some good insight probably into kind of what I think is going to happen in terms of the market. So I'm just going to go down here. This is basically a chart of the 10-year price of oil, and let's take a look at it here. Let's see if I can get that. Yeah, there we go. So this is a chart of the 10-year chart of the price of oil, and you'll notice. I kind of zoom in here a little bit. Yeah, there we go. So you'll notice the average price is right at about 80, and it looks like now last year, of course, when we were pumping a lot of oil, the price was next to zero. Look at that. It went all the way down, but now it's recovered all the way back up to about $80. So it looks as if we're now going to start to see a movement of oil probably from 80 to about $100 in the next few months. That's what this chart is looking like to me. Now, of course, it could be wrong, but that's what it's looking like to me. So this is the 10-year price of oil. So 10 years ago, basically, basically in 2012, we were looking at $90, $100 oil, and it stayed that way from about 2012 all the way up to about 2014. Then it started taking a dive, and it just kind of went down, and then it came back up a little bit in 2017 or so, and that now it's been coming. It came way down, and now it's coming up. Now, as the pandemic ends, we're going to see the price of oil probably move up, and I think to about $100 by the end of the year. So that's something that you really ought to take to heart in any of your buying decisions. I think that right now there's going to be a lot of inflation. That's sort of what it's telling us, and with that, I think we're going to see the price of oil go up. So that's what I'm looking at in terms of in terms of things. So we ought to be looking at oil related opportunities because I think they're going to be very, very good going into the end of the year. All right, looking at OBELF. Do you think it is finding since around $4? Okay, well this is tough to say because it's when a stock is basically in this price range, it's basically in the it's sort of almost in what I can almost can say penny stock land. It's a little bit more difficult, but let's pick up the chart for OB EIF. All right, let's look at it. Oh, okay. Unfortunately, this one does not allow us to bring it up. So I guess this is a penny stock, and I'm probably not on my. Unfortunately, not on my radar. Unfortunately. All right. Do we need to buy retail stocks because Christmas is coming? Yes. Which stocks do you recommend? Well, you know what? I don't recommend. Well, this area has been fairly good. Let's kind of take a look and see where the market is showing us. Let's kind of do a heat map. Let's look to see kind of where the market is voting, where the people are voting in the market. I'm going to look at the groups here. I'm going to look at the groups for last week and then this week. So let's take a look at the groups in terms of in terms of kind of where the money is moving in the market, and it's better not to guess. It's better to just find something that's working well. The number one group right now in the stock market, believe it or not, is energy, and it's coal. And the reason is, and I found out, and I couldn't figure out why this was the case. Well, the reason it is because it looks as if India has a 14-day supply of coal, and they are not getting enough coal. So we're probably going to see, if the coal prices don't go up and there isn't more coal coming into India, we're probably going to see some blackouts there. So this is the number one group in the market, believe it or not. It's coal. The second is finance, consumer loans, and then this group, the one G1340, oil and gas, E&P, U.S. This is where I've been concentrating. Is the third. Now shipping is fourth, and then retail department stores. So let's take a look at retail department stores. So this is going to be where, if we're looking for something to buy for the Christmas season, that if we're looking for a Christmas present, this is going to where we're going to be looking. So let's take a look at see what stocks are in this group. Well, the number one is Kohl's, number two is Macy's, and Nordstrom's, Dillard's, and so let's see where we have the best opportunity. So let's take a quick look at Kohl's to see if that's viable. Well, that's not looking good. Okay, I wouldn't recommend Kohl's here at this level. So let's see. Let's go back here and let's see if we can. Let's check in with Macy's. Now I was very bullish on Macy's. I did sell my position. Looks like we've pulled down a little bit. So this is still buyable, but I probably wouldn't buy it at this point. Let's see if we have another one that possibly, I was looking at Nordstrom's, but Kohl's is the biggest. So let's see if, that isn't really looking well. Okay, so it pulled back and now it's pulling up. Still doing very, very well in terms of the group. Let's see. Dillard's, maybe Dillard's is looking. Yeah, Dillard's is probably, out of these three, Dillard's has the best chart, but it's not a great chart either. Let's see. Let's see if I can find. There's not that many. See, the thing about this area is, it's been such a devastated area that there's not as many stocks as there used to be in this sector. I mean, currently there is, we have, I think about six. So let's go back. Let's kind of look at all the suspects here to see if there's anything. Let's look at Jewel Gold Global. Now this might be interesting. No, that doesn't look very good. The Chinese provider of cosmetics. No, no. Out of all of these, I would say the best is Macy's. M is the symbol on that. I would say that that is your best bet right now if you wanted to buy a stock for Christmas. Would be Macy's, and it does appear that it's holding its own. But I did buy a full position, but I did sell out of this when it pulled back. I had a stop loss. I just pushed it up, and then when it pulled back, I sold out. But this is probably your best bet in the retail sector. Would be Macy's symbol M, but I don't really recommend it because it just doesn't look doesn't look good. Doesn't look good. All right, let's look at Visa and PayPal. These are the two of the payment stocks. I had Visa, but I sold it. I sold it because it was in this downward trend. Let me show you the chart for Visa. It is reversed, but then it's pulled back down to the 200-day line. So I don't think you want to do anything with this right now. I think with Visa, it's not a good buy right now. So I would watch this Visa. Um, but I would buy it. So that's really kind of my take on it. I would basically watch this Visa, but I just wouldn't buy it right now. I just don't think it's really set up well. Again, PayPal is a great stock as well, but it doesn't seem to be set up as well as I'd like to see it. But let's take a look. So Visa, no. Let's look at PayPal and see if we've got anything going on there. Yeah. Okay. Let's see if we can pull up PayPal. Again, just a downward trend on this. Not liking this trend at all for PayPal. So I would say the same thing, basically with. I'd say the same thing with PayPal. So for PayPal, watch list and wait for the reverse. But I really think that's really all you can do with PayPal right now. If you're not in it, that's really probably all you can. That's really probably all you can do with PayPal right now is that. So it's that kind of thing. So that's kind of my take on it. Oops, that's Visa. I'm going to go with PayPal. There we go. So really, with PayPal, you just got to wait for that reversal, and I don't think it's going to make. I don't think it's going to be the right kind of stock right now. It's just again, the most of the market's pulling back. It's getting ready. I mean, there's going to be some opportunities, but right now we just kind of wait. I mean, it's a waiting game right now. It's a really a waiting game. All right, I have a question on MU, and of course, MU is Micron Technology, very interesting company, big memory maker. Here's the thing with Micron. Again, wrong. The chart does not look good. The weekly chart, it's just not time for this one. Yeah, we have a downward trend. We're below the 200-day line. We've got the death cross, so no. So on this one, on the MU, it's just another unfortunate one. So for MU has death cross. So no buy. So I wouldn't be a buyer for MU. It's got a chart. I'll show you this in just a second. The chart anomaly is you can see this red line. It's crossed below the Black line. Well, the black line's the 200-day moving average, and the red line um, is the 50-day moving average because we're on the weekly chart. It's crossed below that. That's the death cross. You don't want to buy this. It's just that you just don't want to do that. Not a good look, unfortunately, there for that. So we've had, I'm not really seeing much outside of oils that I really want to liking right now. Okay. Let's see. Let's see if we have anything good. Oh, ASO. Okay, this is American Sports and Outdoors. This was a good company up till a few weeks ago, until the whole market basically rolled over. And but let's take a look at it now. Let's see how it's doing. It's not bad. I mean, it's American Sports and Outdoors, and I'm looking on the weekly chart here. It's got a cup with a buy point. Buy point is 42.75. Currently, we're at 39.61, so we're below that. So we possibly could get a reversal. This has definitely got a strong checklist. It's not that strong checklist. 67. It's okay. But I would say wait on this one. It's just not time yet. It's just right now in the market. It really isn't, unfortunately, the place to be. And I want to show you the oils, and I want to show you why the oils are the place to be. So right now, just watch list ASO, and that's really the that's really the long and the short of it, because it just doesn't have, again, the market has pulled back. So I would just watch list ASO right now. But let me show you, let's concentrate on things where there's a chance of success. And the stocks I want to look at are in the oil and gas area. And the reason I bring this up is because you always want to be fishing where the fish are. And right now the fish are here. This is the place that the fish are. So let's take a look at one of the ones that I bought today. It's called EOG, and this is more on the lines of what you want to buy. Now, I did buy this one today, so I want to show you the chart on it. See if I can. So I did buy this one today. So basically, I did buy this one today, and I definitely want to show you the chart. And oops, I definitely want to show you the chart. Why did I buy it? Well, I bought it, first of all, it's got a base pattern. This is called a cup without handle, and there is a buy point on this one at 87.99. Now, we're just a little bit below that right now. It went right up to the buy point, and then it pulled back. Now, I bought it right before the buy point, and I may add to this one tomorrow if it can move past if it can move past. This shows you kind of where I bought at 86.79. So I'm a little bit below the buy point. I'm just basically right at the buy point. 87.77 is the buy point. So I'm right at the buy point. I did buy one full position today, and this one I do think probably it may pull back a little bit tomorrow. We'll see. It definitely closed on the low side. I want to look at the 30-minute chart, but this is the kind of stocks that you want to look at, because this area is where the money is flowing in the market. Oil and gas, U.S. exploration. This is 3 out of 197. This is where you want to be. You want to be in the oils right now. The techs just aren't performing as well. Now, they will when they come back. Believe me, I'll be right back in the techs. But right now, it's not a tech time. It's sort of a non-tech time. I also want to show you another one. That was EOG. Now, let's look at another. Let's look at another stock in that I particularly like in this area. It's called Matador. MTDR, that's the symbol on it. It's a fairly large company. I did add to my position in Matador today, and I did do it with a buy stop limit order, and with the stop being at 40.50, and I bought in at 40.95. It's just right at that right now. Let's kind of see how it traded. And it traded pretty well. This is where my stop is. It's right about 37 here. So in case I was wrong and it pulls back, I will be stopped out there. But this is the kind of stock also that you want to look at, because right now, again, oil and gas, U.S. exploration and production, 3 out of 197. So this is kind of where the action is. This is where the money is flowing in the market. So that's the reason why you want to look at the oils. So, right now, and this is the, this is one of the things. So right now, the money is flowing to the oils, and that's just, this is one of those things. What with inflation, with inflation, a lot of people are going to be, um, it's gonna be tight for a lot of people. So right now, um, the money is flowing to the oil stocks, and this, by the way, is not all the oil stocks. This is just the E&P stocks. This is just the companies that are actually prospecting for the oil right now. These are the ones that are where we're seeing the run up now. Now, part of the thing is that they're not, the E&P stocks right now, they're not. There's not a lot of production, but they're going to be ramping up. And if the price of oil goes above $80 a barrel, there will be a lot of more action in these stocks. That's why they're starting to bid up. So that's why a company like Matador Resources is bidding up, even though if we look at their if we look at their fundamentals, let's take a look at their fundamentals here. I want to look at that. Look at how much this is up. Look at how much their sales are up last quarter. They had been losing all last year. See, down, 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 and then all of a sudden, 468% up, almost 1,000% above. Now they had been losing money, but now they're making all kinds of money. Why? Because the price of oil. So this is one of the ones that I'm buying. Why? Because this is where the money is flowing in the market. As you can see, it's moving up, and then there's a base pattern, and then as it's moving through this pivot, that's where I'm buying it. So that's just kind of wanted to put it out there. I know that a lot of people are interested in stocks that were doing great last year. There's nothing wrong with that, and many of those stocks will do well again. But you got to kind of look at what the thing is. This is an article on Palantir stock rallies on $823 million Army contract. Yeah, Palantir is going to get some great government business, but you know what? The real action right now is not in the techs; it's in the oils. All right, so let's look at ARLP. ARLP. I tend to like to go where the market is going. Oh, that doesn't. I don't seem to have anything on that. Unfortunately, let's see if I can get another one up here. Oh, Tenet. Okay, this is from Cheat. Let's take a look at this one. TNet, healthcare, I think. And the healthcare stock has not been doing well. Yeah, this health week's, yeah, okay, so it's above. That's not looking that bad. It's outsourcing. So, TriNet. Okay, I apologize. I thought it was Tenet. Healthcare stocks haven't been doing well, but outsourcing, absolutely. It's funny. I actually did a contract with TriNet many years ago in Hayward, California. Yeah, this is looking very good. They're a little extended here. I probably wouldn't buy this, but it's coming out of a very nice base pattern. The buy point on TriNet Group, 87.60. Currently, it's at 99.57. So it is extended, unfortunately. It's a good stock, but it's extended. So here's what I would say on this one. It's a good stock, but it is extended. So I would not buy. So I really wouldn't buy this one now. It's just extended. We just don't want to buy extended in this market. We just don't want to buy extended in this market. It's very, very important that we don't buy extended because we're in a correction. The market is in correction. So right now we don't want to buy extended. We want only the very best setups that we can get, and that's one of the big deals here. So let's see. I'm going to look here on TikTok. Thank you very much for following me. How about Tesla? Okay. that is a very good question because Tesla has been doing well. I did close my spread. I had a very nice spread on Tesla. We closed it for a profit, which was very nice. TSLA, of course, is the number is the they had excellent deliveries, and it does look, at least for right now, this is one of the few ones that I like. The 40-day line has moved above the 200-day line, the 50-day, and it's right at the 21-day line. So I know that sounds like a lot of gobbledygook, but that's a good sign. So this is a healthy. This is starting to get healthier in terms of its movement chart wise. I did close my bull call spread, and I did close it for a profit, and I closed it yesterday. Very good stock. Now it's pulled back down to the 10-day line. Can you buy it here? Well, I definitely think this is a good area to buy it. 780 is really a key level for Tesla. So I think if you want to get back into Tesla, and I haven't been really heavily back in I haven't been heavily in it since really about March of this year, but but now is a good time to start moving back into Tesla above 780, and that's really the key here. And that's really the key here. Is this very key? This is the 780 level, because this is a, as I can show you. Let's take a look on the chart. So let me put that up there. And so really, this is not a bad time to be moving back into Tesla. I'm gonna flip over to the weekly chart to kind of show you kind of what I'm talking about, why that 780 is so critical. I set the limit here for, so 780 is really the level that we want to get, is really where you want to start possibly coming back into Tesla. And the reason is because, as you can see, I'm drawing a line here. You can see it met the higher high here. So in the intermediate term, it's finally moved beyond the intermediate high. You can see that? See how that is? Now, the people that have held here, most of these people that bought here have sold. So we've gotten rid of most of the overhead supply. So now, if it can hold above that 780, that's a good time to start moving back in. Why? Because it's pulled down, it tested, it's in a consolidation, it pulled down, it tested, it came up, that it could not get any higher than this, came down, came up again, and now it's starting to continue its movement towards a higher high. Now, the ultimate higher high on Tesla is this 785 level, and that's right here. Is the 785 level, and let's, hopefully I can get rid of that. There we go. It's Siri problems. That's going to be the ultimate higher high, but in the intermediate term, beyond 780, it's looking pretty good for Tesla. So we could definitely start moving back into Tesla. Now, of course, it depends on where you bought it in the first place. Absolutely, it depends on where you bought it. I mean, if you have a huge cushion in it, I mean, if you're in it, if you're in it at a really good price, then there's no issue here. But if you're coming back into Tesla, now is a pretty good time, because it's above that 780. That's the key level. You don't really want to buy it under that. You want to buy it as it's moving higher above that. So that's a very, very key level for that. All right, so let's see. This is ARLP, Alliance Resource. Let's see if I can bring that up. ARLP. Okay. Oh yeah, okay, very good. Okay, and this is a coal. Yeah, okay, I like this. Yeah, this is definitely the kind of thing you should be looking at, Jeet. I appreciate you bringing this up. This is a little bit extended. There is a consolidation here, and at $6.68. Currently, we're pretty far extended, but let's look to see. I want to look at I want to kind of do the time machine back here. I want to look at it. Well, you know what? I mean, this has some potential, based on the fact that it's looking like It may, yeah, look at that. It's up 215%. So, I would be careful here, but you know what? I might consider buying this one. Why? Because I think that, this one actually might work. And here's how I would do it. I would probably buy it using a buy stop limit order. That's what I would do. Because you always want to buy you only want to buy this as it's going to a higher high on strength. So I would consider a buy stop limit order where the order price, I mean the stop price would be equal to approximately 1450, well maybe 1440, and the limit price maybe about 1450. So that's kind of how I would do it. Limit would equal about. Let's see if I can get this to work. There we go. So this is kind of how I would play this one. Now I'm not in this one, by the way. I'm not in this stock, but this is sort of how I would play it. I want to see it get a little bit. I want to see if it can hold on. I want to see if it can hold on here because I think it's moved up very nicely, but now we're starting to see some kind of railroad tracks here. And what that means is, of course, it's going to be at this level. Interestingly enough, we've got an Easter egg here, which means that there's a lot of interest. I mean, look at all this buying activity that's coming in here. That's tremendous. So, but I don't really want to buy it until it makes its move above this level. So really, I would say $14, but you possibly could go in as low as like 12.40 with a limit price of 12.50. I think you can definitely do that. This is a very interesting stock. At least from what I'm seeing, because it is in the best area. Energy coal is the best of the best. Now I was fumbling around trying to find a good stock in this. I was looking at Glencoe and all that stuff. This one looks better actually, to be honest with you. The only thing this is missing is the earnings per share. The thing about it is that right now, at least from what I'm seeing, my radar is telling me, look at that. Wow. The sales are up 42% and the profits are up, wow, a whopping 192%. So yeah, this is definitely something to look at. I think that you may have found a very good, a kind of a very good diamond in the rough here. I think this is very, very good. So Alliance Resources, this is very interesting. Jeet, I think this might be a winner. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put this down on my list. ARLP. I'm going to put that on my list right now because I think that's very, very interesting. Thanks for bringing that up. And take the next question, and that's on that's on Wish. Let's look at Wish. Let's see. Let's see if we've had a change on Wish. I recommended this. I think one show at CoreLogic. Boy, I just don't like this chart. Wow, this is terrible. This is just a horrible chart in every way, shape, and form. Unfortunately, yeah, this is just you don't want to buy in this trend. It's just going downward. So I think you don't want to buy this one. And I don't think that's going to change. I mean, I know at least for right now. So I would not buy this one. So I think you got to be, we're in a downward trending market. You don't want to catch a falling knife. I mean, you don't want to catch a falling knife on this one. This one just does not look good. Again, the market is just it's not the way it's a different market than it was a few months ago. It's not doing very, very well. Most everything is falling right now. It is but today is not indicative necessarily. I think we're going to see at least probably a 10, maybe even a 15% retracement here, and then we can move up. Ford, on the other hand, now some of the but that said, I mean, Tesla's moving up. Ford's not looking badly. It's up a little bit after ours, 14.29. The thing about Ford though, it's just for me, I don't really. I've tried this stock, tried to make it work, but it just seems like it, it's sort of loosening the football with me. Gets up to about 15 and then it fails. So I can't really get behind. I can't really get behind Ford that much, unfortunately. All right. So SHIB to the moon. Okay, this is a meme stock. SHIB. Let's look at that. SHIB. So that's always interesting to find out something. SHIB. See, no. Okay, that doesn't seem to come up. Yeah, no, I'm afraid that one doesn't come up. How about Tesla? Okay, thanks. CEI. Oh, Chilray. Yeah, the marijuana stocks. There's only really one good marijuana stock out there. It's in innovative industrial products. IIP. Tilray. This has not been a winner. I know that everybody thought they were going to get rich with it, but unfortunately, it didn't happen that way. I haven't really been um, in the marijuana stocks for about the last 5 years, 4 or 5 years, really. And really was the MJ. That was the only one I was in. So, okay. SO is a cryptocurrency. Okay. A meme stock. Okay. Well, that's cool. That's definitely cool. I mean, crypto is there. I mean, I typically only follow Ethereum and Bitcoin. So that's primarily the two ones I deal with. I don't deal with all the cryptos. All right, let's look at Nvidia because Nvidia is important. NVDA. Let's look at it. Yeah, I think we're getting a little bit of support on Nvidia. I'm hoping. I was basically sold out. I was stopped out at 207.91. It's down 204. I'm kind of waiting for it to come back, move above that 40-day line before I'll be back in. So I think the best thing on right now, excuse me, the best thing right now with Nvidia is kind of just take a wait and see attitude. It's kind of the best. I mean, and I wish I had more to say. I mean, I wish I had better stuff to say right now, but I just think that right now it's just a tough time to be in the market. A lot of stuff's pulling back. We are in correction, so it's time to basically be watching watch lists and getting ready. Taking a look at the chart on Virgin Galactic right now, and it is also in a downward trend. I've made a lot of money on this stock, but not recently, unfortunately. Unfortunately, one thing I want to point out, and this is on chart reading kind of thing. This is what they call the death cross, where the 40-day line is plunged below the 200-day line. This typically is not a good sign. This means it probably is going to go lower. It has a relative strength of 9, so I don't think you want to be. I don't think you want to be in Virgin right now. Unfortunately, I like the company, but I don't like the stock right now. So I'm waiting for it to start to move, and if it does, then I'll maybe get back in. A very interesting question from TikTok. Thank you very much for this. And hopefully one of these days I'm going to be able to get it so where I can show actually the charts. But let's look at Denbury Resources. This is more of the kind of stock that you ought to be looking at right now, just based in this market. This one is in a consolidation range from about 61 up to about 81. It's about 73 right now, and I do think this is likely to go. Yeah, this is likely probably to go higher in the near term. That would be my guess with Denbury. It's got a relative strength of 98. I'm really liking that. It's got a 100% checklist. This is the kind of stock you want to be looking at. You want to be looking at stocks. The way I view it is you want to be looking at stocks that have the best potential of being successful. Let's look at Callum Petroleum. And that is, by the way, for everybody that's watching on TikTok, that is the one that's behind me. The chart is CPE is, and I'm going to pull up the live chart for everybody on YouTube. But this is just a spectacular chart if you look at it. Let's pull it up here. This is just a spectacular chart. I'm going to zoom in a little bit on it. Now, Of course, you always wish that you bought these at the right time. I mean, that's always the, that's always the thing. But I, this one, even though this is extended, I do think, based on what I'm seeing here, I still think there's still an opportunity in this stock. I think it's still in the stock. It's got a 100% checklist. It has a 99 rating. You see, that's a 100% checklist, 99 rating. It's in one of the best sectors, and it's one of the best stocks in one of the best sectors. So when you add it all up, that's the kind of thing that you want to be looking for. You want to be looking for that kind of, you want to put the odds in your favor, and that definitely, Callum definitely puts the odds in your favor. So that's one I would look at. CPE. I'm not saying to buy it. It is extended, but I think that it's the kind of stock that could be very, very good. Let's look at GM. I was owning GM about a few months ago, and since then I have not been nearly. I do believe in the stock because I do think it's got some really nice fun, really nice characteristics. Let me see if I can change this out a little bit. Yeah, let me zoom it out a little bit here. There we go. To kind of show you, one of the good things is we do have this what they call the double bottom pattern. This is a strong pattern. It's pulled above the 200-day line. I'm liking that, and it looks like it's going to hold it. It did move past this reversal line. What I'm going to do is I'm going to reactivate that line because it does look like it's changed character. So it is potentially reversing higher, but this is not a good market. This is a tough market to buy reversals in, but it does look like it does look like GM is moving higher off of a reversal. So, I mean, I definitely think that it is potentially good, but I just wouldn't right now. I would watch this one because I still don't think it's ready. I still don't think it's ready to go yet, unfortunately. And I think it's just you gotta be very, very careful in this market. You've got to be very, very careful in this market. But I do think this one. Let's look at the checklist here. I just want to take a look at it. See, 56. So it's really not ready yet. This is really a watch list. We've got earnings in 22 days. Now here's the thing. Always you want to try to buy stocks. If you're buying stocks into earnings, you want to make sure that you're up at least 10%, or it's a good idea to sell them, especially in this market, because earnings typically will pull, even if they have very good news. Usually, in this kind of market, it's going to pull it back. So, I just would watch this one right now. I wouldn't go for it just because I think that it's just not ready yet. Unfortunately, it's just not ready. Oh, S SYS. I think it's strong in a weak market. Yeah, it definitely. We definitely have a weak market, and this is why it's harder to buy stocks right now than it's been in the last year or so. I mean, it's tough to buy stocks in this market. Many of the tech stocks are priced to perfection. And let's see, am I getting anything on SSYS? I'm sorry, SSYS. Let's look at that. A lot of the tech stocks are, yeah, Stratasys manufactures 3D printers. I wish I could offer more encouragement here. I really do, but I can't really do it. See, look at that. It's downward trend and it's below the 200-day line. So I would say, maybe, you know, maybe look for another stock. So I'm not trying to, not trying to be. I just don't want you to lose. I just don't want you to lose money. I just don't want you to lose money. And I think that this is probably not going anywhere. So I would look for I would kind of look for another stock on this one. I just would. I'd look for I would just look for another stock. I really would on this one. Stratus it might be good eventually, but right now it's just not. It's trading below the 200-day line. It's not something I think is going to be really good. Um, hey, that's good. That's an interesting thing, Real Madrid. I agree with that. In the shipping stocks, Hapag Lloyd is a very good company, and I think that's definitely worth looking at. So let's click back. Let's look at the shipping group. This is a good group. Um, this is the number 4 group right now. This is one of the few groups that is doing well, and that's important. So let's look at Hapag Lloyd. Let's see if I can find it. Okay. Jeez Louise, I don't. I'm trying to think. Let's see if I can. Matson. Okay. Starbulk. I just sold Starbulk. Did very well in it. Okay. A lot of these are the dry bulkers. Let's see. Let's see. Let's check back in. I want to check back in with Starbulk because I did sell it, but I still think it's viable. Yeah, it's pulled back a little bit right below the buy point. Let's look at the weekly chart on this because this one is pulled down a little bit below the buy point, and it seems to be having some resistance there. But it's still, this is still one of the best. This is one of the best stocks in the group. I want to see Zim is number 1. Matt, I want to look at Matson. Matson, I also did well in Matson too. This one's probably a little bit better. I think you could buy this one now. Yeah, I definitely think you could buy this one now. So I don't have this one right now, but MATX is still looking very, very good, and it's got a nice pattern on the chart. The buy point on a cup basis is 79.05, and that's the buy point. Currently, it's at 82.55. It's off a little bit today, off about 1%, but I still like this stock. On the monthly, it's looking pretty good too. It's got this very nice sort of cup handle action on the monthly chart because you can always there's fractals in all this. You can always see it. But I am liking this pattern. So if you're looking for the shipping, this is one that I think you might want to look at. You on the shipping stocks, you might want to look. You might want to potentially look at this one, and that is look at MATX for shipping stocks. And who knows how long shipping is gonna hold up, but right now it seems to be doing very well. And one of the advantages of oh, that's, one of the advantages um, of MATX is the fact that it's a U.S. flagged carrier, which allows it to basically go to multiple ports in the U.S. I can't remember the name of that act, but it's one of the only companies that's allowed to do this. So if it's a Chinese line like Costco, it just goes from basically Shanghai to Los Angeles, and then it turns around and comes back. It only can make one landing in the United States. That's why all the ships are out in LA Harbor because they're foreign flagged and they can only make one stop. They can't go anywhere else. Matson is different because Matson is a U.S. flagged ship. So they're if they're if they are if they're held up in Long Beach, they can go to Portland or they can go to somewhere else. They can go to San Francisco. They can go to Oakland. They can go somewhere else. The reason that they can do that is they are U.S. flagged, and that is a very interesting thing. So this is one of the advantages that Matson Line has over all the other shipping companies, and so you might want to take a look at it. So definitely MATX. This is one in the shipping area that might work well for you instead of Zim. because I don't think Zim. I think Zim is, it's sort of, it hasn't necessarily had its day, but it's not as good, I don't think, right now as Matson lines. What do you think about Gush and Fang? I think they've reached their max. Well, it's funny. I just sold Fang, and I did very well on it. That's Diamondback, of course, for everybody out there. It's not Fang stocks; it's Fang symbol, and I did sell it. Let's see if I can. Let's see if I can get it up. FANG is the symbol for Fang. There we go, and it's right back down. It is. This is also viable right now. The reason I sold it, of course, is that it. And I think I have it in here. Yeah. Let's see if I can zoom in on that. But I sold this. What happened is I bought it here, and then I just let it run up, and then I just kept pushing my stop loss up, and I sold it right about there. And then let's see if I can zoom in a little bit to show you that. And I'm possibly going to get back in it because it's adjusted down, and it seems like there's a little bit of pressure, but this is doing very well. Sold it in the strength at 103.50. It's at 104. Now that was on yesterday. That was on the 4th. That's where I sold it. I'm still liking it. I think it's going to probably pull back a little bit. If it does, I'm probably a buyer once again. I definitely think this has more ways to go, Saul. So I definitely think this has room to run. Now with Gush, Gush is not a stock. It's a ETF, and it's a 2x ETF. So let's take a look at that one. This one isn't quite as well set up. It's still pretty well. It's still set up well enough. I mean, ETFs do kind of use the same. So above 103, I kind of like it. It's currently at 102.91. It's currently at 102.91. Gush is. So that's not bad. It seems like it's holding on there. 98 relative strength. So I like this one too. I probably like the pure play more. But one thing that does speak to the one thing that does speak very, very well to some of the stocks that are in this area is that in this area we definitely have this is a good area for ETFs because there are so many oil companies, and this is a good way to get coverage in there. But I also think, though, that it's better to buy the leaders right now in the oil and gas area. So I'm going to go back over to the oil and gas to that. But so in terms of Gush or Fang, I kind of like Fang better actually right now. I'll be honest with you. I kind of like Fang a little bit better right now. So I'm almost at the end here. Let's look at UPS and see. Let's look at UPS and see. We've got United Parcel Service, and it is in a downward trend. So would not recommend it. I don't like to buy anything in the downward trend because that is catching a falling knife. And I'm not really a big fan of catching falling knives. So I would not recommend this one. I would not recommend UPS. Well, thank you very, very much again for everybody for watching today. And we'll be back tomorrow, of course, at 3:30. And if you want to get your questions in early, just go to if you're on you just go to my profile, click the link, scroll all the way down to the bottom, and then that's the YouTube feed. So you can get before the show starts, you can get your questions in, and that's the easiest place for me to see all the questions is on the YouTube feed. Even though a lot of people are going to be watching on TikTok, which I really appreciate, by the way. And by the way, like me on TikTok. I just went over 100,000 followers on TikTok. So thank you very much for everyone for doing that. If you want to see all the charts and everything, just go to my profile and then the YouTube link. Also, if you want to get on the action trade alerts, super duper easy to do. Just go to www.dallastradingfloor.com and just first and last name and email address where we can send out our trade alerts. I don't know. I may look to see which of the best oil stocks. I may have some names for you on that. I'm just going to be doing some research in that area, see which ones are set up the best. That's kind of the area that I'm really concentrating in right now, is because that's sort of where the market is. Yeah, I mean, I would like to be more in tech, but I'm just not seeing it. I'm just not seeing it as much. I'm not seeing it as much. So until tomorrow at 3:30 Central, 4:30 Eastern. Happy trading, everybody. Thanks for thanks for 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 taking a look today. So there we go. All right.